Hi everybody, I'm Lizzie and I am a homeopath and integrative healthcare practitioner. And I am here to talk to you today about flu prevention and treatment. So get a pen and a piece of paper, because I'm going to give you a lot of good information today and some tools that you can have on hand for really effectively preventing and treating the flu. It's shaping up to be a really long flu season. We're already kind of just at the beginning of it. They're saying about another 2 months, perhaps. Where I am in Texas, we have one of the highest recorded rates of flu cases this year. So get ready. Having these tools are going to come in really, really handy. So as most of you know, homeopathy is the most widely practiced form of alternative medicine in the world. It's safe and very effective and very affordable. So it's a great form of medicine to practice in your own home. So we're going to get started by talking about prevention first. Homeopathy is really cool because it works in lots of different ways, but one of the ways that it works is in a way that's called prophylaxis or prevention. And we have a long history, 200 years of using remedies in a prophylactic or preventative manner. And so that's one way that homeopathy works. And another way is by treating the symptoms themselves. And homeopathy in general works by stimulating the body's own immune system to resolve symptoms on its own. So it acts by stimulating the body's immune system to resolve symptoms on its own. So we have the prophylactic or the prevention, and we have the treatment as well. And those are two different forms within the scope of homeopathic medicine, which is a complete system of medicine. So the first thing that you want to have on hand is called influenzinum. Now, like the word influenza, but influenzinum. Okay, so write that down. Everything that I talk about today, you can order on my website, lizziemartinez.com. You can go there, lizziemartinez.com. You can go there and order everything that I talk about by creating an account on my dispensary, and all the items are there. Or you can find them online anywhere that you want. Or you can go to a local store. Like here in Austin, we have People's Pharmacy, which is excellent, has great selection of remedies. And Whole Foods has a pretty good selection as well, the downtown Whole Foods. So People's Pharmacy, Whole Foods here in town. Otherwise, on my dispensary, at my site, or online, wherever you can find them. Okay? So influenzinum is our first line for prevention. So the way this works is I typically have people start taking it at the beginning of flu season, but you can start anytime. So we're kind of in the middle of flu season. So go ahead and start it now. And the way that it works is it is the strain of this year's flu. So every year the homeopathic pharmacies make a new strain of influenzinum. Boiron, Washington Homeopathics, Hahnemann Labs, those are all our big pharmacies, homeopathic pharmacies here in the States. And they make a new strain. It's based on this year's strain. So you buy it new every year. It's not the same with all remedies. Lots of them you just keep and keep and keep. This one you buy new every year. So you give one dose, and one dose is about 2 or 3 pellets, directly in the mouth. And you just, of course, and with homeopathy, we know we don't touch the pellets. So you just pour them straight in the cap. And you pour the pellets into the cap, and then you pour them directly in the mouth. And you give a dose a day for 5 days. So a dose is 2 to 3 pellets. You give a dose a day for 5 days. This is everybody in your family, same amount. Okay, doesn't matter how big or small they are, same amount. And you give them a dose a day for 5 days, and then you give them a dose a week for the duration of the season, right? So dose a day for 5 days, and then dose a week for the duration of the season. Okay, this is prevention, what we hope to be our first wall, our first layer of prevention for the flu. Okay, so that's the first, influenzinum. The next is the remedy with the crazy name that lots of people might know, oscillococcinum. Who knows if we're pronouncing it right? We can just call it oscillo. So you've probably seen this in the store, this big funny box with a really long weird name. And what this is a great remedy to have at home. I carry it in my purse. I carry a little tube of it that looks like this, comes out of the box. I carry one of these in my purse. So What it is it is the remedy that's used at the very first sign of flu. And by that, I mean the first time that you yourself or one of your loved ones says, I'm not feeling very well. Okay. And it's flu season. You give them Oscillo. Now, lots of people say, what if we don't know it's the flu? What do we do then? It doesn't matter, because that's the really cool thing about homeopathy, or one of the many cool things, is that you can give somebody a remedy, and if it's not the right remedy, it's not going to do anything, which means it's not harmful, right? So if it's not actually the flu, it's not going to help them. But if it is the flu, it is going to help them, and it either stops it in its tracks or it lessens it significantly, right? So first sign of any kind of symptom in flu season, you're going to give them a dose of Oscillo. Okay, and this is my box of Oscillo. It's all crushed up because I had it in my purse. But this is what it looks like, and it comes out in these little tubes. I carry the tube in my purse in case I'm out and a kid or somebody is feeling like they're getting sick. I give them a dose. So that's the next thing that you do. Oscillo is the next line, okay? And you have to catch it right at the beginning. It's Oscillo we use in the first 24 hours. Okay, now, another thing that I have people do preventatively during flu season is take a teaspoon of elderberry syrup every day. So everybody can do that in the family. A teaspoon of elderberry syrup. I didn't bring any to show you. Elderberry syrup is antiviral, an herbal antiviral that you can either make or buy. Okay, either one. Everybody takes a teaspoon during flu season, only during the flu season, and then you stop. Okay, so that's another line of prevention along with your influenzainum. If you start to get sick or somebody starts to get sick, you bring in all your acute, what I call the acute toolkit items. And the acute toolkit items are vitamin C, any brand. I like good brands, so vitamin C, bioplasma, echinacea tincture. Okay, so all these are immune boosters, immune support. So as a first sign of illness, you start giving the immune support as well. Okay, you start all these other items. Okay, and do it based on dosing, based on the bottle for child or adult. Okay, so vitamin C, bioplasma, which is a homeopathic cell salt, and it's the 12 mineral salts that are the building blocks of our cells. So it's very immune boosting. It's naturally immune supportive. And then echinacea, as most of you know, is an antiviral, antibacterial. This one's locally made. I like to buy local products. This one's made by Texas Medicinals, but you can buy any brand that you want. Okay, so you got your first line of prevention, your elderberry and your influenzainum. Then you've done your Oscillo because maybe they've had a symptom, they're starting, and then you've brought in your toolkit items because here comes the illness. We're supporting the immune system. And then now comes the classical homeopathy. Okay, so the way this works is you're going to buy 3 different homeopathic remedies. They look like this. This is a purple tube. Purple means that it's a 200C, which is the highest potency you can buy in the store, 200C. The blue tubes that look like this are 30Cs. They will work, they're just not as strong, and so you have to give more of it, is what I typically feel in an acute. Okay, so my method of dosing during an acute is I call it hard and fast. Like we give a lot of immune support right off the bat, and we get in with a higher potency homeopathics to kind of nip the illness in the bud quickly. So you want 200 Cs, and the remedies that you want are belladonna, bryonia, and gelsemium. These 3 remedies correspond with what the flu picture looks like this year. They're very common flu remedies anyways, and they're used lots of years for the flu. This year in particular, I've already treated quite a few cases. They correspond to this year's picture of the flu. Belladonna, bryonia, gelsemium, 3 of them in 200C potency. Go ahead and get all this stuff now so that you're prepared. So go ahead and order everything or buy it so that you're prepared, so that you're not waking up in the middle of the night wishing you had this stuff. Go ahead and have it on hand now. So the person is ill or you yourself is ill and you know you're coming down with the flu. You start dosing with these remedies in a manner that I call cyclical dosing. And cyclical dosing is where you are taking one of each remedy in a cycle, rotating hourly. So you're saying belladonna, then you're taking bryonia, then you're taking gelsemium, then bryonia, then belladonna, then gelsemium. You're just circling through. You're taking one dose hourly. And a dose, remember, is 2 to 3 pellets on a clean mouth. So why do we use these remedies? Why is it belladonna, bryonia, and gelsemium? They correspond to the symptoms that the flu presents this year. The flu can look like belladonna, which is high fever, flushed. Sometimes they have glassy eyes. Maybe they have a headache. They typically get a high fever in the middle of the night or in the afternoon. Belladonna spikes a fever in those 2 times. So belladonna is flushed with a fever and sometimes glassy eyes and a headache. That's a very belladonna picture, okay? The next one is bryonia. Bryonia, they are achy, maybe really headachy. They are grouchy. They want to be left alone. They just want to lie really still. They're maybe thirsty as well. That's a bryonia picture. Gelsemium, 200C, your other one, they are more wiped out looking, like eyes half masked. My daughter looked like this a couple days ago. I gave her gelsemium. Eyes half masked, droopy is the big word on gelsemium. Droopy, tired, they're achy, they don't feel well, the head achy, droopy, eyes half masked. That's gelsemium. So if you know homeopathy well, you can dose those 3 remedies depending on what's the prominent picture. If you symptom picture at any given time. If you're unsure, but you know they look like they're getting the flu, you go ahead and you do these cyclical dosing with these 3 remedies. And you can also include oscillo in there as well. And you're just going to cyclically dose them throughout the day. Not if they're sleeping. You don't wake them up to give them homeopathy. Sleeping is when we heal ourselves, so we want them to sleep if they're going to sleep. But when they're awake, you're dosing them hourly. Bryonia, belladonna, gelsemium, oscillo, bryonia, belladonna, gelsemium. You're just cyclically going through, okay? And that's the way we do cyclical dosing, best with a 200C. So you're also, of course, doing all your immune boosters and you're keeping them hydrated. Very, very important that the person with the flu stays hydrated. That is incredibly important. I encourage people to put vitamin C powder in the water that the patient is sipping. So that's a great way to get vitamin C, sipping on water and keeping them hydrated. Okay, so that is what you need for flu prevention and treatment. And so remember, influenzinum, oscillo, and your immune boosting support, vitamin C, bioplasma, your echinacea elderberry syrup, which I don't have, and your 200C remedies, bryonia, belladonna, gelsemium. That is what you need to both prevent and treat the flu with homeopathy and supportive measures. So a lot of people ask me about the flu vaccine. There is a flu vaccine. I don't consider myself pro or anti-vaccine. I'm very pro-information. I really encourage people to get good quality information about all their health choices. We do know that this year's flu vaccine has about a 10% efficacy rate and does come with possible side effects. So I just put that out there for people to know so they make an informed choice when they're making choices for their health. We do know that homeopathy is incredibly safe and very effective when used properly. And if you want more information about homeopathy prevention, which I mentioned before is called homeoprophylaxis, you can visit the website of Dr. Isaac Golden. He's the leading expert on homeoprophylaxis, which is homeopathy used for preventative disease, particularly an epidemic disease. And he's got a great website full of all the statistics, well-recorded statistics for homeoprophylaxis. So I hope that this has been helpful for you, and I really encourage you to use homeopathy in your home. It's a safe, effective, and affordable form of alternative medicine. Thank you, and please, if this video has been helpful, please share it. And stay healthy in 2018. Thank you.